Multifamily Mindset
podcast. Think bigger. All right, aloha, my friends, and welcome to the Multifamily Mindset podcast, where we teach you to think bigger, live better, and invest with aloha. My name's Tyler Deveraux.
And I'm Jackson
Campbell.
Dude, what an intro.
Thank you, bro.
The intro was excellent. Dude, let's go. Dude, I'm freaking pumped. Today's going to be awesome,
Let's get it, man. Today, we're going to talk about we've been going through the framework of the sales process. Switch places, assess the need, locate the pain, embrace the objections, and now we're going to solve this bitch together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Today, we're going to cover the S.
Let's dive in.
Let's
Tyler,
dive in, bro.
before we dive in, how was your 4th of July, dude?
That was good. Yeah, we're recording this right after the 4th. I'm not sure when it drops. It's probably going to be October when this thing drops. But 4th of July was good, man.
Good,
lots of fireworks. A couple kids almost blow themselves up with, it's not the 4th unless that happens.
I'm just remembering last year on the 4th, I literally almost blew my hand off.
I do
you remember that?
100%.
And I was like, I had those burns on my arm. I'm just remembering that. Dude, good times. Good times, dude. Good times. 4th of July
fun,
times.
Dude.
Sweet, dude. Well, let's dive in, dude. Yeah, the last letter of the acronym to sales, like you said, which is S, which is solve together, dude. Let's dive in. How do you want to kick it off? Is there anything you want to kick it off with as we dive in here?
Sure. I think that it's such a natural tendency in the sales process of anything to want to go in and so you understand an objection, then just go in and just solve, like solution, tell, or just push. Honestly, I believe sometimes people believe that the more trained you are in sales, the more pushy you get, when I believe it's the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
The more trained you are in sales, the less you're pushing, and the more you're just pulling people who are you're helping people make decisions.
You're helping them find the solution to the problem that they're facing. That's
helping them find the
solution. Yeah,
that's
right.
It. Right.
Dude, it's so good.
So it's not about pushing them, if you will, right? It's not about pushing our idea on somebody. It's about helping them discover that on their own. That way they actually believe it, they trust it, they get excited about it, they're committed to it, right?
Yeah,
they're committed to it.
A word you used the last recording was convince. You're not convincing anybody of anything.
Yeah.
Rather, you're figuring out the solution together, right? Which is what we're going to dive into. Yeah, dude. Pumped about this.
But I want to be clear, though. The goal at this stage, solving together, is to help them make the decision that's best for them, but the key word being decision. Like maybes and let me think about it, and that's never the right decision. Indecision is never the right decision, right? The risk isn't in the decision. The risk is indecision.
Right.
So our job is to push them forward, man, and truly help them make decisions that are going to benefit their life. Whether that's yay or nay, maybe is not it.
Yep. Yep. Dude, indecision, I think a lot of times, real quick before we dive into these high-level checkpoints for this part in the process, I think a lot of the times people think indecision as stalling or they stagnate there. But you're either growing or you're dying.
Yeah.
They're like, this indecision isn't a pause. It isn't a stagnation. It is a dwindle. It is a down slope in your growth trajectory or whatever it is that you're trying to do here, for sure.
Yeah, man. And there's going to be some, we are naturally inclined to procrastinate. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get some people who are absolute ass kickers, ready to make the decision, move forward. But there's always going to be a little bit of resistance. It's just natural process.
Yeah.
So understanding that's natural. That doesn't mean that this person isn't interested. It doesn't mean that they don't want it. It's a natural human tendency to want to procrastinate. And so, man, we just reduce the resistance and we move forward.
Dude, and it's kind of funny, too, because if that's on the consumer side or the person that's buying, right, on their side, that's what they're facing. But the salesperson is facing in that moment, I have the solution for this person. So I want to give them the solution, but I want them to find the solution. So it's almost a battle of polar opposites there, where I want to not necessarily force, but help you see this. Also, you have to see it on your own and have to walk yourself there, dude. So it's not necessarily a tricky thing, but once you understand it, it makes navigating this part of the end of the sales process a lot easier and a lot smoother, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it's really helping them get out of their own way.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And reminding them why they're making a decision and the consequences consequences of making a decision or of not making a decision. Consequences is a neutral term. It's consequence could be good or bad.
So good.
But yeah, it's helping them get out of the way. So
love that you pointed that out.
Checkpoints that we're going through.
Yes, high level checkpoints. Let's hit them.
So just this refresher, right? We've been sitting down with somebody, or on the phone with somebody, we're having a conversation with somebody. We've switched the seats to help them, understand, so that we understand where they're at. We've assessed their needs. We've located the pains that they've had. We've embraced objections that they've had. Through embracing the objection, we have now, done this set aside, like, okay, hey, if we solve this, are we ready to? And now we're going to solve together. And this whole time, you're already telling them and talking about your product. You're asking questions throughout. This whole process, you're filling it out. You're putting in the whole process. Now you're getting down here and we're going to transfer control. Like that first checkpoint that you're at, really, like you're going to transfer some control. Because once again, most people just want to tell. And telling is the most ineffective way of selling anybody anything.
Yeah.
So how do we transfer control? We transfer control by asking questions about how they believe that we can help them, and then they start to sell themselves on it. So that takes belief. That takes confidence because most people, once again, that sounds counterintuitive, and salespeople are nervous to transfer control. No, man, you've painted this boundary. You have this. Now you just transfer it. So, okay, cool. How do we, how do you see our, us helping you with this? Which really leads into number 2, honestly. And number 2 is the types of questions that we ask.
Okay.
I went through number 1 very quickly, though. Do you have any questions there, or do you want me to just go?
No, dude, no. Bang through all these. I do have some questions on transferring control, but I can come back to them for sure. Yeah, no,
so
let's go
maybe I mean just bullet point the 3 stages, the 3 checkpoints: transferring control, solution benefit questions, and then closing it. So the solution benefit questions is right in line. Transferring control, really, I'm just letting you know, like, you have to transfer control. Now, how you really transfer control, in my opinion, is the questions you're asking.
Yeah.
These solution benefit questions. So
give us some, if you don't mind, dude, give us some examples of that transfer control. Like what does that look like?
So let's say I'm talking to an investor.
Yeah.
Right. An investor is apprehensive to invest, which I don't even think most people aren't even apprehensive to invest. They're apprehensive to actually just pull the trigger.
Yeah, take action.
Finalize something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the best way for us, and this is human psychology, man, the best way for us to do this and to feel comfortable making a decision is to feel like it's our own decision. See, we're apprehensive to do things that we feel like we're being told to do, which is why telling is the worst way to go about this process. Especially, we're talking about high level stuff here. People are, wiring hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. They're, or just a lot of money. And so you have to have a higher level of approach. So how do you do that? Asking questions, man. Like, I want them to verbalize out loud what it is they're looking to do or why what we do helps them. Right. So talking to somebody, how do I transfer control? Okay, so man, let's dive into this thing. So your apprehension, your objection, if you will, is that you don't know if it's the right time. Most objections that you're going to come down to is just the timing isn't right.
Right.
The timing isn't ideal.
Right.
Okay. So we've set it aside. Now, help me understand, why, what are you trying to accomplish, or how do you feel like this is going to help you get to, or how do you see us helping you with, or whatever it is. And now they start to spew. Instead of me telling them all these things, they start to tell me all the reasons why they believe we're a fit. Just think about the psychology of how important that is. Like, when we're saying things out loud, it impacts us at a way deeper level. We begin to believe it more. Everywhere we believe it more.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. So instead of me telling them, who knows if they hear it, let them tell us.
Now they're telling you.
Like, literally just
why
sit
they
back.
need your product or whatever it is
Yes.
that you're offering them.
That's it. So, hey, man, listen. So tell me, why do you believe that this is a fit? Why do you want to invest in multifamily real estate? And then I just sit back and watch them wax poetic on all the reasons that they need to. Cash flow, generational wealth, tax benefits. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking for?
Dude, no, that's so good. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Dude, and just to kind of loop back to, don't tell them things, because if they took action on being told what to do, they would have already bought.
Yeah.
They would have saw the ad that said, hey, sign up for this, do this, and then they would have done it.
Yeah.
Right? So the conversation wouldn't even need to be there. So at no point in the conversation should you even be telling them to do anything.
Yeah.
It's really just figuring out what they need to do to get to where they want to go. Right, dude? So no, so good. And like, I love how you put the ball back in their court.
Yeah.
And dude, one thing that you said before we started recording, or even at the intro of this episode, was this is what really separates really good sales professionals and okay sales professionals, is that ability to be able to transfer that control and give up that control, but still maintain in control of that conversation.
Yeah.
It's a high level thing for sure.
Okay, so now we get through this, right? We're asking them questions. They're telling us all the reasons why. Well, cool. Now we just need to close it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to close it out. So this is where people get hung up. Well, people get hung up a lot of places, or intimidated because they're nervous that if they ask for or they move into the sale, that person may say no. Honestly, all the time I'm trying to lean into that as fast as possible, because we've tried to embrace the objection and identify the objection. That doesn't mean that all resistance is gone. There's still going to be some resistance, especially when it comes to actually taking action on something. Mm-hmm. So I want to lean into that, because the more that I can lean into that, the more that I can know what's holding them back. So I've already had them spell it out. They're telling me why it's a fit. Now let's say they hit me with some sort of, so now we move into the close. Mm-hmm. And now let's say that they, hit me with some sort of an objection.
Last minute objection they hit you.
All I'm going to do is just keep circling back up. This process that we've worked you through, I'm just going to keep circling back up. Okay, so it's not a right time. Okay, we've already known what the need is. Okay, so how long have you been wanting to do this? Maybe we already know that. Okay, so what happens if you don't do this? There's the pain. How long? You just continue to circle back up to the needs and the pains. The why, if you will, and the pain that's holding them back. See, when I'm asking them to spell things out, I would love them to spell out the positive, the benefits. But if they're continuing to hold back on things, I'm going to have them spell out the negatives.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what happens if you don't. Best case, worst case.
Paint that picture for them.
Paint it.
Yeah. Because that's what you're doing essentially, is you're asking them these questions to paint a picture of, if they are to move forward with whatever it is you're offering, what that looks like. And if they're not going to move forward, what does that picture look like?
Yes.
And then letting them choose.
Bro, and then I'll tell you what I love to do. Uncover it. Okay, so let's say that best case scenario, if you move forward, best case scenario is X. What's worst case scenario? What is worst case scenario if you move forward? Let them spell it out.
Yeah.
Okay, now we identify it. Okay, now what's best case scenario if you don't move forward? And what's worst case scenario if you don't move forward? I promise you that worst case, the not moving forward side, there is pain there. At this point, they're still talking to you for a reason. For a reason. So it's like, I'll tell you right now, I have, I shouldn't even say this on here, because I've learned that when I say these things, then I get hit up in my DMs all the time. But dude, I have money I have to invest.
Yeah.
Like, have to invest.
Yeah.
And I've been sitting on it. And why have I been sitting on it? Well, because dude, I just haven't felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, obviously we have our fund, and I invest in our fund, and I do all the time. But when I say I have money to invest, I mean I have money allocated aside from the investments that I put into the fund for other alternative investments.
To diversify. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That I have not allocated. And we're talking this like 8 months. And it is a pain for me. It's a pain for me. It's a pain for me because my money's not being put to work.
Yeah.
And I want to put it to work.
Yeah.
But people have not actually just provided the solutions necessary or had something that's a fit. And I'm telling you, it's a pain. So you need to understand that they want to take action, but there is something that is prohibiting them from taking action. And you just leaning into it and spelling out worst case, best case, like shit. That's a huge benefit to them. Like, if I were consulting myself right now, I'd be like, okay, cool. So you've looked at all these different investments, right? So if you would have invested into there, let's say you would have invested into all of them, fractional into all of them, like what could be the worst case right now? What would be the best case? Have some of those been good investments? Have some of those been bad investments? But how much money have you made from that just sitting in your damn account? And I'm just painting it. Okay, if you continue to do that, What's the risk? What's the risk of keeping that much money in an account, which is risky? I mean, we know what's going on with banks right now. Like literally, and I would just spell that out for myself. But I don't have time because I'm trying to spell all this shit out for you guys who I'm talking to.
No, dude, no. So it's so good and it's so valuable, dude. These things you're talking about, you have to spell it out. You have to paint that picture for them. Because oftentimes, even when you're in that decision-making mindset, it's hard to see both pictures.
Oh.
When you're in that decision-making mindset, it's I want to make the decision that's safest. Like that's what your brain just naturally wants to do. So you as that professional that's serving them, that's trying to help them make a better decision to better their life, you paint them that picture of what it could look like versus what it doesn't look like or what it currently looks like because they're not taking the action to do it. Yeah. And then it really comes down to them understanding, okay, shit, it's on me to take action to do what I need to do to get this picture that you just painted me.
That's it.
Right?
And it's not us painting the picture.
No.
It's us having the conversation and asking the questions to help them paint the picture.
Right. Yeah, it's like, so good. So good.
So I'll give you some examples of some solution benefit questions, right? Stuff like, how do you feel like we'd be able to help you? Or what advantage do you see from doing X? Or how do you see this solution, whatever you're doing, the investing, whatever, helping you achieve, whatever the need is, whatever the why is? Or what do you feel the biggest benefit of X is? All these are solution benefit type questions. Or like the pain side, right? So like if you could eliminate the pain, whatever that pain is, how would that benefit you? You're having them paint the picture. You're having them have this conversation. And then, dude, go into close. And how you go into close it, in my opinion, you have to have this transition, like a transitionary state, transitionary questions. So you know that the interest is there. You see it. Now you lean in with the transition question. So okay, let's say, it's hard for me it's almost like I need to choose a specific lane of what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
But it's, say we're talking to an investor and they're, we went through this process. Now I wanted to lead into a close. Then it's like, okay, sweet. So let's move in. So now that we know this is what you're looking for, all the due dates here. Now the funds are there. Okay. So now help me understand how quickly would you be able to wire the funds? Now I'm just like, it's a quick thing. How quickly would you be able to wire the funds? Okay. Now where are the funds located again? Awesome. Now, would you be able to wire the funds by X date? Would you need help doing those kind of things? All these are quick, little, simple, basic things that are helping down the process. I also like to ask as many yes questions as possible at this point.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Getting them saying yes, yes, yes. So is the money liquid? You already know it's liquid. I mean, you should at this point. But is the money liquid? Yes. Okay, cool. Are you the person who makes the decisions in line with the account that you're investing from? Yes. Awesome. The more that you can get them to say yes, the more resistance is moving down.
Do you want to know why I believe that's the case? Is because when you're having these conversations, it's obviously back and forth. You're talking about this thing, you're talking about that thing, and it kind of gets not necessarily convoluted, but it could get cloudy in somebody's mind of like what's the positives, what is actually the yeses, and what are the no's for me, right? So when you're at your close and when you're coming to your close and on this point, you're really just refreshing them of those things you talked about, right? Because you said you should already know that it's liquid. You should already know where the capital is. You should already know these things. Really what you're doing for them is you're reminding them, hey, these are all these things that we've been talking about for the past, if it's an investment, sometimes it's 4 or 5 calls, right? Because it's a large amount of money. There might be some questions you don't know, so you might be coming back to them after multiple calls. So you're really just confirming with them. It's almost like a spreadsheet. It's like yes, ticks all my boxes.
Yes.
Let me make sure we've talked about everything. Is there anything else we're forgetting here? Is there anything else we're missing?
That's it.
And then it's right to those questions that you just went over.
Dude, it's a great way to put it. It's a great way to really compartmentalize it in your mind. Of all you're doing is literally going back through the checklist of what you've already talked about.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put that.
It's like, okay, we're here. We did it. And then for them, they're like, okay, wow, we really did take care of everything. Thank you for helping me get here. I'm ready to move forward.
That's it.
Yeah. Dude.
You can even lead in with a question, like a question of like, okay, so if, is there anything else we need to, just letting them know what's this transfer of control, right? Okay, cool. Is there anything else we need to cover or that is keeping you on the fence or that is making you apprehensive, think about the service of that. Is there anything else we need to cover, keeping you apprehensive, on the fence, whatever, before we move forward and get all this taken care of? Like, I want to know. Swear to God, want to know. Some people will be like, no, avoid it. I disagree. I want to know, is there really anything else keeping you back from moving forward? If there is, let's work through it. If not, then let's go.
Yes.
Think about how simple that is. They're either going to be like, no, I don't think so. Okay, cool. Then that's free, like, lane into let's close it up. And then if it's, okay, so sweet, I'm going to send you this, we're going to sign this. And then if they're like, well, I got to, well then, is there something holding you back? No stress. Let's talk through it. What is it? Right?
It gives you that platform. It gives you that, like, arena to be able to talk about it, to be like, this is the now. Let's talk about it if there's anything else.
That's it.
And it's such a serving thing for them too, because they realize that you have their best interest in mind. Yeah. Or it's like, this is about you, man. Like, this is about you. Is like anything else that's going to stop you to, like, from taking advantage of the benefits of whatever it is you're selling or investing into? That's like it. What's stopping you from those benefits, dude? It's
and honestly, like,
so good.
Just the closing portion should probably be an entire podcast.
You really
like, as I'm thinking about it, it's like, it seems so simple, but really it could and should probably be an entire podcast.
Yeah.
Like, this is the framework, man, the sales framework. Switching seats, assessing the need, locating the pain, embracing objections, and then, man, solving together. Now, finalizing and closing, once again, I literally believe that could probably be an entire podcast.
Let's do it, because there's a whole different set of skill set there too, for sure.
And just being confident in the direction that you're going. I think of it as, like, definiteness of, like, no, man, we're going to work through this bitch. Like, we're going to work. That's why I say, like, maybes, no. And it's not because I'm mean. It's because that's not serving. I do not believe that is serving. I just don't.
No.
Yeah.
And it's not. And, like, one thing that we haven't touched on here quite yet is that these people are going to become your clients now.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, this is like they buy from you or they invest into your property or whatever it is. You're responsible for the outcome of whatever it is that they, like, you should feel that responsibility. Totally, at least bro. You should feel a little bit of that responsibility. So following this framework that you've laid out, Ty, you're really also, like, building the best relationship possible with your future client as you gain them as your client or your investor. That's it. You're building that relationship with them as you go through. And, like, that's kind of how it wraps all back up into service, right? Yep. Is that I'm going to continue to be here to make sure that you get everything that you need to get from what we just talked about right now.
That's it. Yeah. And that's even a good point of, like, a way that you can let them know that you're there, or even a way that you can just give them peace of mind. Because really there's uncertainty because they're doing something. Maybe they're doing something they haven't done yet before. Maybe they haven't invested in a deal before. Right. Maybe this is the first deal they're investing in. Spilling this out of, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to send you these docs. You can now sign these documents. Once you sign those documents, you're going to get, wire instructions. When you get those wire instructions, you can do that, online in your bank account. You can do this. Once I have all those, then I will, anyway, you're just telling them the next steps of. Once that's there, then we're going to close on this date. Once we close, you'll get notified of the close. If anything is prohibiting or
impeding
the close, making it push back. Delaying.
Delaying the close. We're gonna need an extension. That's all that I heard in my head. It's like, file for the extension.
That's it, dude. That's your role. If anything's delaying the close, we're gonna let you know what's going on. Then first distribution will be here. You're just spelling them out the next steps, dude. Yep. That's it.
Yep. And to that point, it makes it so much easier to, like, follow up with them too.
Yeah.
They know what you're following up on. They know what their next steps is, and it keeps the direction going where it needs to go.
That's it.
For sure.
One thing that I like to do, and then we'll wrap this thing up, is I like to give them some sort of an assignment, like a quick, easy one, okay, that they can immediately get back to me with. So for example, and I'll lead it. So this would it be like, okay, man, I'm going to send you this over to your email, but do me a favor. Sometimes it'll go other places. So will you do me a favor? As soon as we hang up, will you just send me an email? You can just be like, what up? It can be test. Send me an email so that I get that back. All this is actions breed other actions. It's a baby action that they can take to send me this email. Okay, now what I'm going to do. This is your next level shit here, though, okay? They send me this email that just says test whatever, and now what am I going to respond back with? I'm going to respond back with some sort of a positive label. Like, and what I mean by that is, hey, man, thank you so much for being so responsive. Man, appreciate you following through. You're so great at, because what do I want them to do throughout the rest of this process? Keep up with that positive label. See, once we have a positive label, especially something that we believe in, and that's easy for them to believe in that positive label because they really were just responsive. They really did just do something like that. And so now they want to continue with that. Mm-hmm. People like praise. And so you give them an opportunity for them to take action and for you to give them a positive label, for them to continue taking those small actions to get this thing to the closing table.
Yep, that's going to ultimately benefit them.
Yeah,
it's going to benefit, and it's a service thing to them for sure. I love this, Ty. This has been such a great framework to talk about, man, sales and really break it down. And if I don't humbly say so myself, dude, this is one of those top things that separates you from other entrepreneurs, other people in the real estate space, other educators, gurus, whatever you want to call them, man, influencers in the space. This is one of those things that sets you apart massively, is your sales framework and your approach to sales. And yeah, man, it's such a valuable framework that works.
Thanks, bro.
It's a very, very valuable framework that, like I said, it works. It works.
It works.
If you follow this framework that we just broke down over these past few episodes, it makes things a lot easier. And it for me, dude, I love people. Mm-hmm. Most people have that innate ability to love people, and this is just like another way to love them even better. Yeah. To love them even deeper and love them even further is to be able to know what it is that they need and help them solve it.
Yeah, bro. We love people, but people will love you when you help them take actions on things that will benefit their life.
Exactly.
Right? Yep. They'll love you way more. Uh-huh. Like to get them out of this uncomfortable situation they've been in and help them move forward, like, it is the most loving, serving thing we can do for people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
As long as there's not like that selfish, as long as your intentions are there too, right? Is keeping those intentions. That's another thing that just separates you, is the intention there is to serve, is to help, is to guide and grow. It's not selfish. It's not a selfish benefit.
Yeah. Those things are taken care of as a byproduct.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
We get what we want by helping other people get what they need.
Exactly.
Period.
Brother, Hawaiian value for today.
The Hawaiian value is going to be no ka'oi. See, out here in Maui, you'll hear a lot of people say Maui no ka'oi. It's because Maui is no ka'oi, which is the best. Maui is the best. And so why do we say no ka'oi as the value here? Because sales is the best, man. Sales is the best. When you truly understand sales is the best, this is a framework that can help you get you to your best and help other people get them to their best. Dude, there's unlimited, the potential is unlimited. Mm-hmm. The potential of what people can do, what you can do, is unlimited. Sales is leadership. Sales is business. Sales is service. Like, it's no ka'oi.
It's the best.
Right? It is. So, man, embrace all this kind of stuff. Go and put it to work. Struggle through it, man. The amount of reps that I've had walking through this framework is
a lot.
I don't even know. I mean, shit tons of hours and actual reps. So I understand your first one's going to be clunky. Your second one's going to be clunky. Your 1,000th one's going to be clunky. But guess what? Results can happen in your first, second, or 1,000. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like go put her to work.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add?
No, man. Just so good. I'm grateful for these teachings, dude. It's changed the way that I go about things, how I communicate, and that's ultimately what this is, dude. It's a super framework for communication, for effective
high level communication.
High level and effective communication, man. So no, grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, homie. Appreciate it. And also thank y'all out there. Hope you found some value from this framework, value from this episode. Go share, rate, review, and then live always with Aloha. Peace. Multifamily Mindset. Podcast. Think bigger.